countdown.
Yeah, countdown and everything.
Countdown. No.
The final countdown.
Phil, you ready with the intro?
Now you can intro today.
All right. Well, Conversation with Phil and Pete. It's another episode. This is Pete. That's Philip. And Nikki. Nikki has our guest. Nikki, first off, thank you for sending some time out and doing this. I know we had talked about it before. How are you tonight?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Of course.
Um, so just to start off a little bit, your name. Tell us where you're from. What you doing?
My name's Nikki Vicario. I don't know. I'm here. I live in Las Cruces.
From where though? That's the big one.
Oh, so I was born and raised in Southern Maine. Moved to Boston when I graduated high school. I was in Boston, Massachusetts for about 4 years. And then I moved to Orlando, Florida for about 4 years. Moved back to Boston for about 3. Went to San Diego for about a year. And now I've been in Las Cruces for 6, almost 7 years.
Is it home?
No.
No.
Right away now.
My for now home. Not my forever home.
Where's the ultimate goal? Where do you want to be at?
Someplace that doesn't get snow ever.
Good luck.
Public?
Yeah, right. The
Ever.
islands.
I'm done with snow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that I remember at some of the conversations we used to have was that you've been all over the place and you've had some pretty crazy stories.
Mm-hmm.
I know one of the things you're doing now is, and my hat goes off to you. You're into the pageants. I want to say that you've gone a long ways. You look good. Looking at the photography and the pictures. I mean, it's awesome to see because I know that shit takes time and I know it takes money. Talk to us a little bit about that whole fucking process.
Well, I just competed and won in my second pageant ever. It was for Miss Epic Newcomer. You competed in preliminary pageants that were talent only throughout the year, and each month there was a winner. And at the end of the year, all 12 winners came back and competed for the grand prize title of Miss Epic Newcomer. And so I competed in July, I want to say. It was me and one other girl and lost. And said, okay, maybe, we'll see what happens. Went back in November and said, let's give it another shot. And tied with the girl that I competed against for score purposes. And they did a tiebreaker of audience applause. And for the cash prize, even though we were both considered winners because our scores got us there. And the other girl won the cash. And then I continued doing shows at Epic, but at Epic, you kind of have to win a title in order to do anything extravagant with them. So I was like, you know what? I don't know if this is really something that I'm cut out for because I'm not really a confrontational, competitive type person. But I got a lot of words of encouragement from family and friends. And I said, you know what? Let's give it a shot. So I dropped about $800 in the course of 2.5, 3 weeks between my presentation, gown, talent, just everything. And showed up at the pageant and swept the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
Every single category and ultimately won the entire pageant.
Boom.
That's awesome.
Mic drop.
Right.
They didn't even call out any of the other girls. They said, this one most beautiful, this one second runner-up. We're not announcing any of the awards because your winner swept the whole pageant.
That's good shit.
That is good shit. Wow.
That's always good to hear. And is that whole industry, because I know like I've heard of like pageants in general and like little girl pageants being nightmares. Is that the same thing with and it's if I'm right, what type of pageants are they? They're trans pageants. What kind of pageants are they?
Well,
Regular
and there's
pageants?
a lot of different pageants, like nationwide. There's a lot of national pageants, which is where the girls compete hardcore for these pageants. There's like Gay America, Gay US of A, Entertainer of the Year, and then the most prestigious pageant, in my opinion, because it's all based on what your aesthetic is. Like Gay US of A is more about the glitz and glamour and the production talents and you and 20 dancers and you have this big elaborate routine and America's kind of similar but more geared towards the beauty side of things. But both of those are more drag pageants.
I see.
Then you have Entertainer of the Year, which is solely based on talent. And then the one that I think is the most prestigious, there's others that are like not up and coming pageants. That's not what I want to say, but they're still in the works. These other pageants have been around for years and years and years and years. Like the first winner of Miss Continental was back in the 80s.
Oh wow. Shit,
But
that's a long
Continental is
time.
more of a transgender pageant because it's more beauty based.
Mm.
So
Interesting.
it's not that drag queens can't be beautiful, and there's a lot of drag queens out there that can outglam a transgender girl. But when you're competing against all other transgender women and you have a swimsuit competition portion in the pageant, it's a little bit harder for some of the drag queens to go up against a trans woman in Continental.
Oh, I see.
Very interesting.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I want to say I haven't been to a pageant, but I've been to a club before back here when they had it with an ex-girlfriend of mine. I tell everybody this. At the night we went, there was it was a pageant type setting. And I know it takes time and money, and, the
Mhm.
dedication that it takes. I turned to look at my coworker and I told my coworker, there's just no way that's a man up there. I'm sorry. It's really, I know it's a man. I know I'm staring at a man up there who was performing great. Don't get me wrong. The whole routine was good, but the get up, I couldn't
Mhm.
believe it. That's all I can say. So,
So anyway, I saw a post the other day on Facebook asking what was your first drag show you'd ever been to and the first performer you'd ever seen, and brought me back to when I was 18, like 2 years ago, and not really.
That was good. That was
2 years
good.
ago, but we'll go to at a club called Axis in Boston. And one of my coworkers was like, "Oh, you have to come to this club with us. They do a drag show. It's amazing." And I was like, "All right." I was 18 and wanted to experience life and had just moved to Boston. And was like, "Well, fuck it, I'm down." So we went, and the drag show started, and this first girl came out and was clearly a drag queen. Her name was Misery. I shouldn't even have a last name back then. Just Misery. Big old black guy, like 6'5", 6'3", 250 pounds maybe. Just a big
Damn.
old black guy up there in this huge wig and this gown, and I was like, okay, well, I could get into this. And she was the hostess, and she announced the first performer, and out walks this girl, and I looked at my friend and I said, I thought you said we were going to a drag show. Like clearly that other one was a drag queen, but this is a woman. And it was the first transgender woman I had ever met. Her name was Destiny, or is Destiny. And talk about her like she passed away or something. Her name is Destiny. And she was probably the most beautiful creature I had ever seen
Wow.
to that point, because I was still going through my own thing and didn't know what I was feeling inside and what I was going through, and thought that I was weird and alone and all this. And I see this girl come out on stage and was like, holy shit, I'm not strange or alone or weird. Like, this is something that can happen. And I could, like, you can actually be a beautiful woman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's and I want to ask, because that leads to my next question. Because since I've met you, the years that I've known you, you've changed. When was it that you've decided, in body wise, and you've gotten probably a lot more fucking crazier as I've known you longer, but when was it that you decided like you wanted to make a change to your body, or just a change period? I guess?
Well, I started living full time probably about 8 years ago now. And then um, when I actually started working at Convergys and looked into my health benefits and whatnot, I found that the health insurance I had covered hormone replacement therapy. And I was like, okay, well, no time better than now to start down this process, because it's a long process. It's a very unique process for every transgender woman. No transgender woman transitions the same. Everybody has their own ideal of what they want out of transitioning, what they want to look like, what surgeries they want to have, if they want to be on hormones, if they don't want to be on hormones, because hormones can definitely take a health toll on your body if they're not done correctly and they're not prescribed. And you do, black market type stuff and go down to Juarez and get a shot in your ass once a month and you don't know what
Black
it is.
market hormones? What the
Yeah, that's
fuck?
crazy. Black
Mhm.
market hormones.
No way.
Yeah. You have to have your levels just right. They have to be monitored so that what you're doing is good for your body. Because essentially the hormones kick you into a second puberty.
Oh, wow.
And they start making physical changes, they start making emotional changes, they change the chemical balance in your body. Like, there's a lot that hormones can do, and if it's not regulated by a medical profession, you can put yourself in a lot of hot water. That was probably 5 years ago now that I started hormones. My brother's here, so that if I keep looking off, like looking for validation, I'm not just looking at Casper or somebody that's not really there.
Holy
Pete
shit.
and I
So
are not smoking the same things.
so it's been so it's been about 8 years ago you said you started full time.
Mhm.
And then when did the additional changes come? When did you take the leap into going in the
I
knife?
started hormones about 5 years ago, and they made a lot of physical changes to my body. Started softening my body up, making feminine changes in my face and my breast tissue and my proportionate of or not proportionate my distribution of body fat around my body, because girls get fat in different places than men get fat. And then 2 years ago, June, I went and had my breast augmentation done. And then hopefully next summer, I'll be doing body contouring surgery.
A body what?
Contouring?
And what's that entail, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah.
So that for me will entail solid silicone implants in my buttocks and my hips, and then they'll do liposuction through my flanks, my abdomen, my lower back, to pull my waist in and give me more of an hourglass figure. And then they will take the fat that they suck out and they'll re-inject it around my implants so that my implants look more natural and soft.
Interesting. Yeah,
You
right.
going for that Coca-Cola look?
The
What
Coca-Cola.
you going for?
Just a little bit of a.
Oh,
I don't want to
shit.
be looking like Nicki Minaj or anything, but just a little bit of a curve to my lower half of my body.
Fuck. That's absolutely nuts to hear. You know, and that's quite the change. You know, you have posted I can't remember. It's been some time. You had posted a change picture, you know, from I
Mm-hmm.
think the 10-year, I think it was a 10-year picture is what you had posted. And the change, like from seeing you dressed up in like your pageant gear versus to who you were. Not gonna say who you were, what you look like, and I'm not gonna. I don't know. I didn't know you back 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? But the definitely the change is
Let me see. I'm
just
trying to see if I can find it. Yeah, it's definitely been a huge physical as well as an emotional and mental change.
I bet.
Where is that picture?
we gotta see it now. We gotta see it. I'm high as fuck. So everybody knows.
I'm high as fuck. I'm sober as fuck over here. I'm sober as fuck.
I am high as fuck, and I just relit my joint. You know, maybe it'll.
That one?
That is just insane.
That is crazy insane. Wow.
Crazy. Yeah. Jeez.
Wow.
And I just know just the whole like I said, I've seen how much it can run, and I can just say, like I said, my hat goes off to you all to do that, you know, because I know it's a lot of time and I know it's a lot of money. And then just the whole change itself, you know, and I want to ask because I want to ask during this whole change, you know, do you still run across the shitheads? You
Okay,
still
still
run
run across
across
what?
you still run across the shitheads?
Oh yeah,
People still get
absolutely.
offended by any type of trans individual around? Because I see it.
Um,
I see it.
I do too
I've
here in Boulder. I do in Colorado. I see it all the time.
I've kind of gotten immune to it. Like I see people that I know out and about, and well, I don't see them, which is my point. I'll go to Walmart, and then I'll get a message and be like, "Hey, I saw you at Walmart, but you totally ignored me." And I'm like, "No, I'm not ignoring anybody. I don't pay attention to what's going on around me because I've learned that by paying attention to people's reactions, that it got me into a space that I didn't like to be in. So I stopped paying attention to other people when I was out and about and their reactions to anything because your problem with me is internal. It has nothing to do with me.
I love it.
Yeah, me too.
Stop
Love
paying.
it.
But then, I definitely get the people that will make comments or say something or will come to me. But more of what I see, just because of the secondary line of work that I'm in with the shows and the pageants and whatnot, is I get a lot more of the men that view me as an object and feel as though they don't have to treat me with respect and can make advances towards me without being respectful and treating me like a human being. They treat me as an object or just a sexual being rather than an actual human being that is doing a job.
So that shit happens at pageants, at shows.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be the
Yeah,
wrong
this
place you want
last
to do that.
Saturday?
Right.
Saturday night we were at a show here in Cruces at Club 30, and I had a 22-inch ponytail on that came down like past my ass, and he grabbed a hold of my ponytail and pulled my ponytail. And I turned around and I was like, "What are you doing?" And he was like, "Oh, don't act like you don't like your hair pulled." And I was like, okay, first of all, don't ever touch a girl's hair. And
Right.
second of all, keep talking to me like that, and you won't be talking.
Yeah. Wow.
Like I said, that'd be the last place you wanna do that is in a that type of setting. The trans group, I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again, the LGBTQ community, right or wrong, whatever it be, I mean, we're behind them, we're behind them. They stick together no matter what.
Oh yeah.
And,
Oh yeah.
and that is just one very strong group, and that'd be the last thing to do. It's a good way to get fucked up.
Way fast.
Mhm.
Fast.
We were actually just talking about a night the other night, about a night a while ago, the other night, where there was a little bit of a verbal altercation outside of Epic. Little. And my drag mother and friend of ours, who are well known in the El Paso community, came out of another bar down the street and didn't even know what was going on. Were not privy to any of the information, but saw that I was a little puffed up with what was going on and in this little boy's face. So both of them dropped their purses, flung their shoes, and came running up, ready
Shit.
to eat some ass.
Oh
Not
shit.
even knowing what was going on.
Don't even gotta know.
Don't
Nope.
even exactly. Don't even gotta know. That's crazy.
Like I said, y'all hold strong together. That's good. And that's awesome to hear. What's next for you? I know we got the surgery, the next surgery wanting you said is by when? The next
Hopefully
one?
next summer.
Hopefully next summer.
Mhm.
Until then, sticking to the pageants. Maybe anything else?
Just the shows.
Shows.
Doing the reigning epic newcomer. I have a show once a month that I have to do for that. We have a show here in 30 that I am in pretty much every month. There's been a couple of months that I haven't been in it. And then, just different things going on at Epic, and then been dabbling more because I visited my first Continental prelim a couple of weekends ago in Phoenix.
Mhm.
I've always been obsessed with Continental, never had the opportunity to go to one of their prelims or go to nationals. And I finally had the opportunity to. So after we got back from that, the owner of the prelim has been messaging me and enticing me to compete in his prelim next year.
Oh,
Oh
there you
wow.
go.
That's awesome.
So it's terrifying.
Well, you can do it.
Right.
These girls don't play.
Well,
These
shit.
girls don't play at all.
Going to that level, but with you stuck around it for this long, and it looks like it drives you. And at the end of the day, if you're enjoying it, if you're not enjoying it, then that's when you gotta kind of stop or
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
lower the gear.
Yeah, that's what my husband says. I mean, like, having my show at Epic the last Thursday of the month for any newcomer, which is what I love about this show that I do, is that it's for any newcomer. That it doesn't have to be male, female, whatever. It's drag kings, drag queens, transgender,
kings?
whatever. Yep. We even have our current reigning Miss Epic Grand is a femme queen. She is a genetically born female that does drag. So there's just all kinds of different performers.
Oh.
I'm trying to piece it
Yeah,
together.
yeah, me too.
Uh-huh.
I see it.
Nope.
No, that's
But doing all that, it's like my husband says, when I'm spending this money on drag, I mean, it's like you said, it takes a lot of money and a lot of time. With all the makeup and the outfits. Like my evening gown that I wore for my pageant was about $80 for fabric, $100 to have it made, another about $100 worth of stones, then the shoes,
Jesus
and the hair,
Christ.
then the
Jeez.
jewelry.
Yeah, I know the makeup can take some time, and makeup's so fucking expensive. Jesus Christ, you know.
And you don't
That's
want
one of
shitty
the,
makeup either. You don't want shitty makeup.
you can't have shitty makeup because you know what? You can tell the difference. You really can, you know. And
To an
I've always told
extent.
my,
And if
I've
you know
told
what
my,
you're doing with makeup, like I'm not gonna lie, I got some Walmart shit that isn't the best, but I know how to use it, and I've been using it for so long that
mm,
yeah, there's some things that you just can't replace with a shitty version and not be able to tell. But for the most part, there's a lot of things out there that if you know what you're doing, you can still use off-brand stuff and get away with
you just got to get the tenure, I guess,
it.
you know, and then the time on top of that, because I know it can take fucking forever, you know, to get ready. And that's one of the big ones, you know, when I think of pageants or I think of shows, and then, you know, anything like what you do, I know it takes a lot of time to get started. It wasn't make a, but it got to be at least 2 or 3 hours, right? At the least.
Well, now that
Depends.
I don't have to do as much as I used to,
Oh, there you go.
um, I don't have to shave or anything. I've done laser hair removal treatments on my entire body, so I don't have to shave anymore.
Oh,
Um,
That's
and
nice.
having my augmentation done and whatnot, I still give myself 2 full hours from getting in the shower to doing my makeup to putting on hair pieces and putting on my outfit for the night and heading out the door. Um,
fuck that.
Before, I would probably give myself 3 hours to be
Fuck.
able to do all that.
Wow.
See, that's the shit I can't handle. I can barely handle this fucking Whoopi Goldberg nap that I got fucking on my head. I barely can barely put it in a bun myself without losing my shit. If I fail twice, I say fuck it, I'm wearing it down. So.
That's true. I've seen it. Seen it happen.
But no, Nikki, I wanted to thank you again for setting some time out and doing this. And like I said, I think you have an incredible story, you know, on where you've came. Like I said, just because I know you personally, you know, and you've
Mm.
changed so much, and seeing you do all the shows and stuff, seeing that like all the fig like the actually work art, like the art on all that the posters that you're sharing. No, it's really it can really snag the eye, and to see that you're a part of something like that, and that you're like really invested. It's just so cool to hear, you know. So keep it up,
Thank you.
um, uh, keep it up, and I hope you exceed pretty far in it. If you do want to any shout outs to anybody, if you want to plug anything, any social media, this is your time to do it. You know, feel free.
Really, I'm just plugging my show. Like I said, at Epic Night Bar in El Paso, Texas, 510 North Stanton Street. The last Thursday of every month, we have our newcomer show that starts. Contestant check-in is at 11 p.m. Starts around midnight. Um,
Wow.
Generally about the last Saturday of the month. It's not always the last Saturday, but typically the last Saturday of the month is the Diva Show at Club 30 at the Ramada here in Las Cruces, New Mexico. That's hosted by Liz Bass and produced by Liz Diani. You can find her on Facebook also with LD Jewelry. She makes some amazing jewelry. All of my drag jewelry. I never bought drag jewelry before, but all of my drag jewelry has come from Lisbeth Diani and LD Jewelry. I don't know. You can catch my Facebook, Nikki Vicario, Nikki Norel Vicario.
There you go. All right. Well, you heard it
And
there.
is it a like a page, or is it like a personal? Like a personal.
So it was my personal page, because I
Was.
kind of stepped back from doing drag shows for a long time, and focused on my transition and getting a career under my belt and being a productive member of society, I guess you could say. And then I started doing drag shows again, and didn't think it was just like something that a friend had asked me to do for their birthday. So I was like, well, yeah, why not? I haven't done it in forever. And it kind of took off from there. So I didn't really have a chance to
Cool.
separate my personal Facebook from a drag Facebook, but I don't mind.
Cool.
With it, you heard it there. Go give her a like. Go hit her like on her pictures, like and dope pictures. By the way, I wanted to say again, whoever your photographer was,
Oh.
who took some of those.
I have a new photo shoot coming up with her. Her name's Leslie Harper out of El Paso, Texas. She does amazing work with all of the girls, as well as so much more. She just posted this huge album. She took like 24,000 pictures over this past weekend
God
from dance recital with youth groups. She does family portraits, like professional headshots, anything you need photography wise. Definitely search on Facebook for Leslie Harper Photography, LMH Photography.
There it is.
There it is. There it is.
Take a look at the Facebook page and look at those photos. Like I said, they were the bomb. And thank you again, Nikki. Till next time, we'll definitely get you on again. Thank you again,
Thank you.
everybody. Conversation with Phil and Pete. Adventures with Phil and Pete on Facebook. Give us a like. We're done. Peace out.
Peace.
Thank you.